Good morning and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning and welcome to all of you as well. I wanted to note, I think I've been up for 23 hours, and I don't remember having happened since graduate school. So, my name's C. Kelly Smith. I live right across the highway in Senator Goodwin's district, where I've lived for almost 33 years. It's kind of shocking. Though I have testified before you every year in support of marriage equality legislation, tonight I'm doing so for a friend who just lost his partner of 53 years. 2 weeks ago, our friend Edward J. Lavelle passed on, leaving behind his beloved husband, Rafaelo Lantia of Providence, and at least 4 states filled with adoring friends and family, all of whom converged at his house. They shared a long, successful life together, and everyone who knew them knows that they were devoted to each other, their faith, which is Catholicism, and to their community. 2 weeks ago, I was cooking in an adjacent room while my dear friend and several loved ones met with a funeral director. The topic of discussion was whether or not Rafaelo was next of kin. Rafaelo, torn with grief, furnished a tall stack of legal documents to prove that he was who he claimed to be, but he had misplaced, not lost, their marriage license. He'd needed it earlier in the week for something, and it just wasn't where it was supposed to be. Despite the contracts and the powers of attorney, the funeral director was leaning towards releasing the remains to an out-of-state nephew. I witnessed panic. For a moment, it appeared as though the funeral director was not going to authorize the release of Jay's cremated remains to the man who had cared for him and who shared his life for 53 years. After much distress and a priest's intervention, the funeral director was finally pacified. This should never happen to anyone, no less a grieving spouse 2 days after his husband has died. Married in Massachusetts, these 2 men were as wedded as my parents are, and for the same amount of time. Excuse me. Rhode Island has created the illusion of second-class citizenship by not following the example of every adjoining state and most of the Northeast. Also, when the state of Rhode Island discriminates against loving same-sex couples, it sends the message that it's okay to discriminate, and funeral directors and other people like that can arbitrarily discriminate or seek to. I ask that you pass this bill because it's the right thing to do. Access to civil marriage threatens no one's rights. It simply protects families in the way that all families need protecting. Do it for Rafaelo, and in memory of Jay. Do it for the rest of us who are growing old, burdened by the many obstacles of inequality. But for goodness sake, please just get it done. Our community has waited long enough. Thank you.
Are there any questions or comments for this witness? Thank you.